All right, joining us today on Pirate Radio Live, former Pirate QB Paul Troth, his second appearance here with us on Pirate Radio. And Paul, great to get you back on. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Just headed to the airport. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
Yeah, we see you traveling in the car, so appreciate you working with us and accommodating our schedule, your schedule. But first of all, what are you doing? Where are you traveling to today?
We got a big Elite 11 regional in Atlanta. It's always one of the bigger regionals for us on the circuit. A lot of talent in the Southeast. Um, it's a big hub for high school football. Obviously, we get to go uh, to Buford High School. I'm sure everybody's heard of that high school. It's basically its own little college there, and it's awesome. Looking forward to seeing a lot of new talent and see which guys are gonna rise and which guys are gonna come under the come out of from under the radar and surprise us. So it's always fun. It's kind of like the spring is here when Elite 11 starts.
So, Paul, for the novices, could you give us a bare bones description of Elite 11 and your capacity, what you do with it?
Yeah, so the easiest way I describe it is it's American Idol for high school quarterbacks. Like we are we are searching for the 24 best quarterbacks in the country, the rising seniors. So these are juniors. They just finished their junior year. We have some sophomores that come and we get evals on them and some really talented freshmen. And we go out there and we put them through a workout. We test them, combine them, and then we put them through our Elite 11 drills and we try to see mostly try to see the competitiveness because they're all sharks. You know, I mean, they come in there and they're all the best guy in their county or their city, and then get them around other sharks and see who's the alpha. So once we're done with the regionals, we select the 24. We bring them out to LA, and we have the 24 in LA. And then actually this year we just re-upped with Nike, so Nike is going to host 110 or so of the best high school football players in the country in the summer, and we'll have like a 7-on-7 tournament. So it all culminates to that up at Beaverton, and it's exciting times for all high school quarterbacks. If they're listening, they know what Elite 11 is. So
Man, that's really cool. We're a long ways from the college and NFL season, but the NFL does a great job of staying in the headlines year round, and we can talk
right,
about that anytime. ECU's released their schedule last Friday, so that
okay,
became a talking point. And here on Pirate Radio, we've talked to former Pirates Rajay Harris, Noah Henderson. I had Shane Calhoun on yesterday, who will be taking part in the UFL. So,
oh yeah.
everything's year round now, and football is no different, right?
Yeah, I love the UFL. I think what they are not afraid to try new things, and then you see the NFL copy them with the kickoffs and all that. So, uh, and for nothing else, it gives guys uh, that have had their NFL doors shut on them to have it creak back open and put some good stuff on tape. And you got really great coaches. I know Skip was there. He created a little dynasty in Birmingham. So.
He was
Um,
the Nick Saban of spring football, Paul, with all
yeah,
the
yeah.
championships.
Yeah, and watching him just, I mean, he has to be a head coach. I mean, everywhere he goes, he knows how to change a culture, and then he knows how to adapt to, what the rules are, and he gets the best out of them. And that team, when you watch that team for the past years, you could tell like they were a team, and they were not trying to just get their film and show themselves. Like he got them to buy into, hey, if we win, then everybody wins, and I think a lot of good players have come out of that league.
One more question, and now I want to talk more about Skip and the Holtz family.
Hmm.
But last time we had you on, we talked about Mitch Griffiths and him
Yep.
coming to East Carolina out of the portal. And since then, the Pirates added another quarterback, Emory Williams.
Yeah.
From Miami, who we
Yep.
don't have a ton of college tape on, but
Right.
certainly a talent quarterback before getting to Miami. Do you know anything about him, Paul? You ever seen Emory Williams?
Yeah, I believe he was with us with Elite 11. I want to say, is he a Georgia kid in high school, or I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I mean, big, strong, talented kid. As with this whole quarterback scenario, I mean, it's all about getting reps and having competition. I think that him coming from Miami, it will be a plus. I think that Having two guys, like I said, even when I talked about Mitch, I think the quarterback room is just an extension of the coaching staff. So having veteran guys in there and how quickly they can adapt and how quickly they can learn the playbook and how quickly they can, get themselves into the program with the fellas and just being leaders is huge because the momentum that ECU's carrying over from this past year, it's got to continue. Unfortunately, the nature is it's like we're a minor league team and we feel like we're just we're finding the best players, we're doing the best work, coach is doing a great job, and it is what it is. And bottom line is, people in Greenville want to see a winner. I think he's doing that. Um, Whether they're 1 year rentals, so be it. All we care about is wins in Greenville and making our map a little bit bigger on the national scale because college football is going to be changing every year, and just being a winner helps, and getting more notoriety around the country will be huge for ECU.
Paul Troth joining us. Paul, a player at East Carolina and also coached at ECU under Skip Holtz. And I wanted to bring you on today to talk about the Holtz family. Lou Holtz passing away earlier this week. We had Greg Hudson on yesterday who had some great stories, great memories,
Right,
and said that, he helped him out, obviously, when Hudson played for Lou Holtz. He helped
right,
him out when he coached under Lou Holtz, and he said he helped him out later in life when Coach Hud was going through some struggles of his own. Coach
right.
Lou Holtz's words helped him out. So, how about you, Paul? When you were here at ECU with Skip Holtz, did you have any interactions with Lou? Did you have any
Yeah.
interactions with the
So
legend?
I can do a couple two. I got two stories. Um, the first one is, you come to East Carolina, you're a G the totem pole. You don't want to get in trouble. You want to do your job, and part of that job is making sure uh, the drink machine is filled for all the coaches, for everybody. Now, anybody and everybody in Eastern North Carolina knows we are a Pepsi school. Okay. Now, it was made sure to me and the other GA, Tim Carter, that if we knew that Coach Holtz, Lou Holtz, was coming to town, there better be caffeine-free Diet Coke available. So I know for a fact that there was always caffeine-free Diet Coke there just in case uh, Coach Holtz came by. And so it was, you never knew when. Most of the times, I think the two times he came would always be during training camp. And no doubt he's not an imposing figure, but the way he carries himself, he's in the room. So, he comes in and just the friendliest guy. Now, being on the staff and having guys that had worked for him, Coach Fitch and Coach Shank, they'll tell you working for him is different than meeting him, on the street. And he's the head coach, man. I mean, he is Saban-esque in that, you just don't want to get on his bad side because he has no filter and he'll tell you the truth. And so the day he was in there, I introduced myself, and the other rule was, and you had to be able to impersonate Lou Holtz in our
Uh,
offensive staff meeting. So everybody had their best Lou Holtz impression, and God rest his soul, Phil Petty, he had the best one. Obviously, played for him. Um,
Legendary, yeah.
yeah, legendary, and so he had a ton of stories, and they've been passed on, and I'm sure you can find some. But for me, obviously, my dad is from the Tidewater area, and when he was getting recruited by all the Southern Conference schools, it was East Carolina, Citadel, but also William and Mary. And so I knew that my dad, had met Coach Holtz in high school, and I went right up to him, introduced myself, and I said, "Coach, hey, my name is Paul Troth. My dad's Mike Troth. He was recruited by you at William and Mary," and he's like, "Hey, I'll tell you what, man. When I was at William and Mary, we had a lot more Marys than Williams. So tell your dad he made the right choice." Um, you know, so
Yeah.
um, this is a great guy, and I think the testament to any man when they leave this earth is their family, and I think that the Holtz family across the board, whether it's Skip, whether it's his sons, um, they just keep making an impact on football, and they keep making an impact on young men's lives. And everything that Skip is as a head coach and the master that he is at delegating and running a program, I mean, he had one of the best. So it was awesome to be around and meet him. It's very sad that he's passed. First thing I did in class this week was played, Lou Holtz videos for my class, just because it had nothing to do with football. It had everything to do with, just being excellent and all those speeches. And, it was awesome. I mean, I remember preseason before we go up to Virginia Tech, he does the newspaper trick for our football team. And it doesn't matter where you're from, where you grew up, demographic, magic, and showing a magic trick and also giving a motivational speech will blow kids' minds. And it was just it was awesome to be around and have just an experience to be around him for the little time that I was. So sad to see him go.
Man, awesome stuff there, Paul. Thanks for sharing that. I mentioned it with HUD yesterday. I love that, football coaches come in all shapes and sizes. And, Coach HUD, back when you were here coaching wise, he had the Stone Cold Steve Austin look, the shaved head, the goat. Like he looked the part. Like Lou Holtz, kind of a smaller fella, skinny fella, but the fact that, and I said this to HUD, that he could, demand attention in the locker room, demand attention as a speaker, and control the room no matter where he is. Talked about, I guess, his larger than life personality, and then he showed that personality with College Game Day Final and College Football Final on ESPN, kind of having a second life in the sports world, in the college football world. Paul, what was it like to kind of watch him late in his career like that? Because I remember him. And probably you, like, first memories are him on the Notre Dame sideline. So I remember that. I remember South Carolina. But then there's a lot of kids that look at him like we do Dick Vitale or Lee Corso or something, where he's the TV guy. But it was pretty neat he was able to have an impact even that late in his career.
Yeah, I think communication is one of the greatest traits you can have, but along with that communication, it's making people feel like they're the most important person in the room. And there's a handful of coaches that can do that, that genuinely can recall names and recall experiences. And
Right.
Mac Brown comes to mind, but Lou Holtz is the top of the list. And he knows what he wants to get across, and he's fiery and he's not afraid to back down. And I think when people know that you care, that's where it doesn't matter your stature, it doesn't matter what you look like. I think that's where his excellence comes from. So people knew that he cared about them, people knew that he was selfless. And I think that it crosses across all demographics, all walks of life, and he's a leader of men, and the traits that he instilled in his son and it carries over to football programs and then ESPN, it speaks for itself.
Paul Troth joining us today on Pirate Radio Live as he travels. Football never stops. Paul is going to ask you a couple more, and so you were a highly touted quarterback coming out of high school.
Welcome. Please
Sorry about that.
Hey,
Just
no
grabbing
problem.
this ticket. Yeah.
Most of you guys are also good at other sports. So baseball, basketball. What else did you do? Because I know a lot of coaches I talk to now, they love a guy when he's playing multiple sports and not just specializing. Did you play other sports, Paul?
I played high school basketball up until my sophomore year, and a lot of offers started rolling in, and I was the goon for the basketball team. And I think that I pitched a little, but I fell in love with a curveball, and then that kind of started irritating my arm. But I played everything growing up, but once it kind of got solidified that I knew that I could play at the next level, then I really started focusing on football. And I'll tell you what, with Elite 11, it's one of the traits that we look for, just because a football season is only 12 games long, so you're only getting 12 opportunities to see a kid's competitiveness, whereas basketball is 2 to 3 times a week, baseball is 2 to 3 times a week, and you're just trying to see the competitor in a kid. And I I am trying my best with my kids to try and uh, keep them playing 3 sports. My oldest daughter plays 3 sports. She's a sophomore. Um, just because you're supposed to enjoy it, but also helps you compete and have different roles on different teams. So hugely important. I hope that it continues to be valued like it used to be. Unfortunately, it's hard to have those Holton Ahlers of the world in the quarterback space because you just get so much pressure to specialize, and there's not many 1%ers in the world, and I just it, it's just the nature of sports right now. It's unfortunate, but I
Yeah.
know that every coach I talk to is like, I love multi-sport athletes, and it's like, okay, well, then don't hold that against me when
Yeah.
I go and play. So, yeah, it's hugely important, but not as important from like the physical standpoint as much as it just evaluating a kid on how he competes.
That's a good point, man. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, for example, anti maybe anti is too strong, but the travel baseball and the year round stuff and people
Hmm.
criticize it, yet their kids a part of it. And it's like
Right.
you're part of the machine and it's
Yeah.
tough to get out of, right? And so I
Right.
don't know. It's
I
it
think
is
that I yeah, I think that as a parent, you have to be prayerfully in line with being able to say no. I think that there's times as parents we just said we're not doing that. Um, and you gotta see where your value is on the team. If you're one of the better players, you got a longer leash. If you're not, then it is what it is. I think that's like life. And so uh, it's hard. It really is. Because some of the best football players I've ever been around at East Carolina and elsewhere, they were also the best basketball players and
right.
best baseball players. So hopefully it kind of the train is full bore running off the tracks, in my opinion, and it's going to take parents to kind of put a stop to it.
Sure. 100%. Paul, next time you're traveling somewhere, let me know. I like these chats.
Yeah,
We can just talk while you drive or whatever.
I
But
know.
nah,
I know.
enjoyed it, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for
brother.
coming on today, sharing some Lou Holtz stories with us, and we'll talk again. I'd love to get you on this spring and
Yeah,
talk more football with you, man. Enjoyed it.
yeah, for sure. And I gotta find a way to get to Greenville. That's for
Yeah.
sure. And when I'm down there, I definitely stop by. And again, appreciate Pirate Nation. Appreciate you guys. Keep it up.